Have you noticed something strange lately? You walk into a grocery store, order fast food, renew a subscription, or buy basic household products, and somehow you're paying more money while getting less in return. Smaller portions, hidden fees, higher prices. And most Americans don't even realize how quietly this is happening. Big companies across America have mastered the art of raising prices without triggering massive public outrage. And the scary part is, many of these strategies are completely invisible unless you know exactly what to look for. In today's video, we're exposing how major corporations quietly raise prices and why millions of Americans feel financially squeezed even when inflation headlines start cooling down. Welcome back to The Dollar Pilot. Today we're talking about something almost every American experiences daily but rarely notices in real time: the quiet ways big companies raise prices. And no, this isn't just about inflation. Because even when official inflation numbers begin slowing down, millions of Americans still feel like everything keeps getting more expensive. Groceries cost more, fast food costs more, streaming services cost more, insurance costs more, rent costs more, even basic everyday products seem harder to afford. And the reason many Americans feel financially exhausted is because companies have become extremely sophisticated at increasing profits without making price hikes too obvious. One of the most common tactics is something called shrinkflation. This happens when companies reduce the size or quantity of a product while keeping the price nearly the same. For example, a bag of chips may contain fewer ounces. Ice cream containers may shrink slightly. Paper towel rolls may include fewer sheets. Snack packages become smaller while prices stay high. At first glance, consumers may not notice, but over time, Americans are quietly paying more for less. And this strategy exploded across the United States during periods of high inflation because companies understood something important. Consumers react emotionally to visible price increases, but they often notice size reductions much later. Another major tactic is hidden fees. Across America, companies increasingly add service charges, processing fees, convenience fees, delivery fees, and subscription add-ons. Hotels do it, airlines do it, concert ticket companies do it, food delivery apps do it, banks do it, streaming platforms do it. Sometimes the advertised price looks reasonable until the final checkout screen appears. This creates what economists sometimes call drip pricing. The true cost slowly reveals itself during the buying process. And for millions of Americans, these hidden charges quietly drain monthly budgets. Subscription inflation is another growing problem. Many companies realized recurring payments are one of the easiest ways to increase long-term revenue. Streaming services, software platforms, cloud storage, fitness apps, gaming memberships, and even food delivery memberships now regularly increase monthly prices. The increases often seem small, maybe $1 or $2 extra. But when Americans are subscribed to multiple services, those increases compound rapidly. And because payments are automatic, many people don't immediately notice how much they're spending every month. Another important issue is premium pricing psychology. Big corporations spend billions studying consumer behavior. They understand how packaging, branding, store design, and marketing influence buying decisions. For example, companies often introduce premium versions of products at much higher prices. Once consumers psychologically accept the premium option, the regular version also becomes more expensive over time. Fast food is a perfect example. What used to be considered cheap convenience food now often costs nearly as much as casual restaurant meals in many American cities. Large combo meals can easily cost over $10 or even $15 depending on location. And many Americans are shocked because fast food prices rose much faster than expected over the past few years. Another hidden factor is corporate concentration. A surprisingly small number of giant corporations control major sectors of the American economy. From food manufacturing to airlines to telecommunications to consumer goods, large companies dominate many industries. When competition becomes limited, companies gain more pricing power. Consumers simply have fewer alternatives. This means businesses can raise prices more aggressively without losing as many customers. Some economists and critics argue that certain corporations used inflation as cover to push prices even higher than necessary. During periods when consumers expected rising prices anyway, companies could increase profit margins more easily. This idea became known as greedflation. Now, whether people fully agree with that term or not, one fact remains true. Corporate profits in some industries stayed extremely strong, while millions of Americans struggled with higher living costs. Technology also plays a major role. Modern pricing systems are more advanced than ever before. Airlines, hotels, ride-sharing apps, retailers, and e-commerce platforms increasingly use algorithmic pricing. Prices can now change instantly depending on demand, location, timing, customer behavior, and market conditions. This means two people may pay different prices for similar services. And many Americans don't even realize how dynamic pricing quietly affects their spending. Another issue is psychological normalization. Over time, people slowly adapt to higher prices. What once felt outrageously expensive eventually starts feeling normal. $5 coffee, $20 fast food meals, $100 grocery trips. Americans gradually adjust expectations because constant exposure changes perception. This is one reason price increases often happen gradually rather than all at once. Companies know slow increases create less public backlash. Housing costs also amplify the pressure. When Americans already spend massive portions of income on rent, mortgages, healthcare, transportation, and insurance, even small product price increases feel emotionally exhausting. This creates the widespread feeling that middle-class life is becoming harder despite people working full-time jobs. And perhaps the biggest problem is wage imbalance. While wages increased in some sectors, many Americans still feel income growth is not keeping pace with real-world expenses, especially in major cities. This is why millions of people now feel financially stressed even with decent salaries. Another major reason companies keep raising prices is shareholder pressure. Public corporations are expected to continuously increase profits quarter after quarter. Investors want growth. Wall Street rewards higher earnings, and companies constantly search for ways to protect or expand profit margins. Sometimes that means innovation, but often it means raising prices, reducing product size, cutting quality, automating jobs, or adding new fees. And consumers end up carrying much of the financial burden. Now here's the important question. Will prices ever go back down? Historically, once prices rise significantly, they rarely fully reverse unless there's a severe recession or economic collapse. Instead, prices usually stabilize at higher levels while wages slowly attempt to catch up over time. That process can take years. This is why financial awareness matters more than ever. Americans are becoming more careful about subscriptions, budgeting, grocery shopping, impulse purchases, restaurant spending, and long-term saving. Consumers are adapting because they realize the economy itself has fundamentally changed. At the Dollar Pilot, we believe understanding how companies make money is one of the most important parts of financial literacy. Because once you understand pricing psychology, inflation tactics, hidden fees, and consumer behavior, you begin making smarter financial decisions. The truth is, many Americans are not imagining things. Life genuinely feels more expensive because companies have quietly mastered the art of increasing prices in ways most people barely notice at first. And until competition improves and economic pressure eases, millions of Americans will continue feeling squeezed every single month. Stay informed, stay disciplined, and remember, understanding how money moves is one of the best ways to protect your financial future.